Hello, I'm Azai. Welcome back to 99, the second chapter. Yeah, I remember what to say this time because I actually, I don't know. I recorded these episodes like back to back, like day to day, right? But for some reason, yesterday I just don't know what to say about, you know, how I say or how I call the name for the second game here. And do excuse me, but outside there's like people doing some sort of work and they are using a metal grinder. Hope that the mic doesn't pick it up because my goodness, I am using open back headphones and they are fucking loud. They are ridiculously loud. But hopefully the mic is actually good enough that it blocks out, that really whirring noise. But yeah, I came back from the gym maybe about an hour ago. I got myself some donuts. Don't worry, I am not going back to my really gluttonous way of eating dozen donuts. I bought 2 dozen yesterday, but I actually put them in the fridge. And I kid you not, I freeze some of the ones that I think that I'm not gonna be eating until I have to eat them, and probably just gonna microwave them. But yeah, 4 donuts a day is okay, right? It's not a dozen or 2 dozens, but 4 donuts is alright. Besides, my weight loss is actually going pretty well. Or, I don't even think I want to lose weight anymore. I'm kind of just wanting to stay at my current weight. But this morning when I weigh in, I'm about 66.8 kilograms. In pounds, that's about, let's see, so 104, 13, maybe about 148 pounds, I'd say. Give or take, probably around that much. So yeah, before I started cutting, I was averaging about 67.5 to 68. That was like my stabilized weight. Now I'm about 66.5 to 67, and I'm kind of enjoying being at this range because I see more definition in my body, and I also feel a lot more energetic. I don't feel as sluggish. But yeah, enough about me talking about the gym. So let's talk about, 9-9, shall we? Just as I said on the last episode, you guys on YouTube will not be seeing the last episode until, I don't know, 2 to 3 days after the previous episode. But yeah, this is supposedly an Amayui recording, but, might as well just finish up 9-9 so we can start the new chapter next week. For me anyway, for people on YouTube, you guys don't need to worry. You guys are scheduled. You guys is videos are scheduled. This only applies for people on Patreon and also myself, the one that's recording. But enough about that, let's talk about the last episode recap, shall we? Because on the last episode, there were lots of things happening since I had to do a double episode. So on the previous episode, which is probably about episode 6, we got into the brink of, or the peak or the climax of Sora's powers going haywire. She was exuding? Is that the word I'm looking for? She was exuding? Transmitting? What's the word I'm looking for? You guys understand what I'm trying to look for here, right? Basically, she was using her powers in a range around her. But I don't know what word I'm supposed to use there. Exuding? I think exuding is right? Maybe. But yeah, she was disappearing. But at first, it was mostly the memories. So everyone that knows her, everyone that doesn't have an artifact, basically people who don't really have anything to do with supernatural stuff, forget her quite easily. And even Kujo and also Noah were forgetting her. So yeah, she went into her mental state got unstable, and Sophie said that we gotta make her not think about disappearing because it seems that these artifacts are affected by your willpower, the strength of them. I dislike the fact that these artifacts are kind of not really told in terms of their power capacity or their, just overall power level. Because it seems like as long as your willpower is good, you can probably do anything. That's a bit, I don't know. I guess we'll see how they're gonna try to make use of this ambiguousness of these superpowers. We'll see. But I really did not like what they did with Sora's predicament there. It just doesn't make sense to me that, well, I guess after she said that Ghost was actually being kept hidden by her, that kinda makes sense. But at the same time, if she was able to actually get rid of herself into fully disappearing, even inside of people's minds, why didn't she do that to Ghost, right? That's what I don't get. I don't know. I don't want to dwell too much on that though. It's probably a minor thing, but I am the type of person that if I find some sort of plot hole, I'm gonna fixate on it. That's just the type of person I am, so sorry about that. And yeah, Kakeru was her lifeline basically throughout throughout episode 6. And she blew the bomb. What did she say? Not blew the bomb, she threw a bomb. She said that she liked us, and not just as a brother, romantically, and wants to have sex before she disappears. Of course, Kakeru said no, or I said no. I don't know if Kakeru would have defaulted to saying no, but there was no way I'm gonna fuck my own sister. And then we actually got mad at her, and that turns out to be what she needed. I told Kakeru throughout the whole freaking episode that he needed to be honest with Sora. Sure, like I said, or not like I said, sure, people who are mentally unstable, they can't rationalize a lot of things, right? Because their minds are just so preoccupied with their own situation. But that doesn't mean that if you explain to them in a good manner, in a very honest manner, that they're not gonna understand. That's what I think anyway. As long as people can feel that you're sincere with your words, they will understand you if they're a good person, right? And I don't think that Sora is a bad person in any way. So yeah, throughout that whole episode, I was really mad at Kakeru, but I don't know if he actually redeemed himself after that, because we actually went to Ghost. Sora actually got the ambrosia. She detracted the contract. Detracted? Am I using that word correctly? She uncontracted the artifact. Don't even know if that's a word, but that's what happened. And he was making use of that situation where everyone was still forgetting about Sora and Kakeru to try to kill a Ghost, which is pretty commendable. In this route, Kakeru actually had the balls to kill someone, right? He got the resolution. He was resolute in protecting the people that he cares about, that he's going to kill someone for it. I personally feel like if I was in Kakeru's shoes, I would have not really cared too much about that. But then again, I'm a bit more jaded, I guess. Not really as emotional as Kakeru. But yeah, long story short, Haruka saved us, and then Noah saved us. Of course, Kujo and Sora also saved us during the fight with Ghost. And Ghost actually got she went haywire because she was using her powers way too much. And then Takamine came, he was using the same evil eye power, so Sophie said Ghost and also Takamine might have been some people who are retainers of the evil eye. And yeah, after that, we basically just have sex with Sora. Not gonna lie guys, that was a pretty lengthy last episode recap because I had to recap 2 episodes. But I kid you not, at the very end, after we finished fighting Ghost, I thought that the game was going to end as if we didn't pick anyone. You know, like I thought that the only H scene we were gonna get with Sora is if we went to accept Sora's feelings. So like, this is her chapter, right? But we can actually accept her, get the bad ending, or reject her feelings, and then we're gonna go straight to the next game. While this is basically the common route, if you guys understand what I'm trying to say, by not picking anyone so that we can just go to the third game and just jump straight before we pick Sora right here, right? Before we had sex with Sora. I don't know how the third game is gonna actually be now that we actually do accept Sora here and had sex with her. I assume Kakeru is gonna have sex for brains and he's not gonna be able to think rationally anymore, so I guess we'll have to see. The H scene was amazing, by the way. I did say that in the last episode, but I'm gonna reiterate. I'm gonna say it again because it is amazing. Not as in sexy. But it was definitely right up my alley. Sora rolls around on my bed, smiling broadly. I, on the other hand, have just come back to my senses, and the enormity of what we've done is starting to sink in. It's a bit late to be regretting things now, but holy shit, I'm breaking out in a cold sweat. Still, if Sora comes on to me again, I probably won't be able to refuse. That's just how awesome it felt having sex with her. God damn it, this guy! Man, did it ever. I could barely even think by the end of it. Hell, even this weird exhaustion from coming twice feels good. Well, what the hell is going to happen now? All I know is we're probably gonna have sex a bunch, Kakeru, because Kujo got 3 H scenes, and Sora only got 1 so far. We spent the weekend at our parents' place. Sora hadn't been back for a good week, and I've been wanting to see Mom and Dad again. Hearing them welcome us both home was a huge relief. I'm sure Sora felt the same way. Now we know for sure that she's freed from the artifact's curse. It was nice being reminded of that for a whole weekend straight. And now it's Monday.
Oh, Kakeru-chan! Oh. 久しぶり。心配したよ。今日も来なかったらみんなでお見舞いに行こうかって話してたんだよ。嘘つけ。うん。かけるの話題全くなかった。君もうちょっとクラスのみんなと交流しなさいよ。友達、僕しかいないでしょ。
Well, back when I was in middle school, Yuichi, I was skipping class for about 2 whole weeks. I think I've told this story before, but I had like a friend who basically, I told him, come on man, tell him I'm sick, or whatever. So I always have someone who vouched for me that I'm sick. But you know, I was a kid, I was going to like an internet cafe, and someone saw that I was going there from my school. Like when I go to school, I just get dropped off, and then you know, they basically think that I go to school, but I didn't. So yeah, someone noticed that, and thankfully they told the teachers, and the teacher called my parents. I probably would have been a delinquent if I went that road, not gonna lie. I haven't been to school in a week. While the place is as much of a pain as always, I am a little glad to be back. And though it's only been a week, it feels a little nostalgic too.
本当は3日くらいで治ってたでしょ。1週間も休むとか度胸あるね。
ふざけんな。4日かかったっつうの。
I kid you not though, even though I skipped like 2 weeks and I probably miss a couple of exams or tests, I wasn't last place in the rankings for my scores. There was like someone dumber than me even though I skipped like 2 weeks of class. That is something that I truly feel like, man, there must be dumb people out there in the world.
うわ、皆さん、この人ずる休みしてましたよ。
おいやめろバカ。
Even this exchange feels nostalgic. Kujo glances over at me and giggles. Life's gone back to normal. Well, mostly back to normal.
はーい、席ついて。ホームルーム始めますよ。
The bell rings and Miss Naruse enters, signaling the start of the day. Morning classes, lunch break, afternoon classes, final homeroom announcements. Normally, school days feel like they drag on forever, but today passed by in a flash. Miss Naruse wraps up her announcements and school ends. I shove today's homework into my bag and get to my feet.
かける、帰ろう。
おう、
会期祝いしよう。かけるのおごりで。
なんでだよ。せめて割り勘だろ。
ニーミくん、ちょっと。
はい。
ああ、ずる休みがバレたかな。
怖いこと言うなよ。
I drop my bag back onto my desk and head to the teacher's podium.
何ですか。
一応聞いとこうと思って。全開したってことでいいんだよね。
そうですね。
その
Oh,
割に
sorry about that.
顔色悪いよね。
そうですか。
うん、朝から。本当はまだ治ってないんじゃないの？大丈夫？
いや、治ってはいるんです。ほら。
I show her my right hand. God, I'm not gonna lie, guys. This fucking... I don't know what the hell they're doing outside, but this noise is driving me crazy. Thank God you can't hear it. Jesus Christ, they've been doing this non-stop for the past, like, the beginning since I started the episode. So 17 minutes, and they didn't stop once. Naturally, it's no longer petrified, but Miss Naruse seems unconvinced. I guess I'll have to tell her some part of the story at least.
最近ちょっと眠れてなくて。
悩みでもあるの？
いえ、ただちょっと変な夢見て、それで起きちゃうんですよね。
夢ね。それこそ不安の発露のような気もするけど、無理はせず相談しなよ。友達でもいいし、スクールカウンセラーでもいいし。
そうですね。はい、そうします。
絶対しないでしょ。なんだかよくわからないことに関わってるみたいだし、本当に気をつけてね。ご両親に心配をかけないように。
大丈夫です。一番の問題は片付きましたから。
なら、よし。
Miss Naruse grins and walks out of the classroom. Maybe I really should consider talking to her.
なんだったの？補習とか？
いや、体調聞かれただけ。
見るからに病み上がりっぽいしね。
お前、そう思ってたのにずる休みとか言いやがったのか。
僕が心配しても気持ち悪いだけでしょ。帰ろ帰ろ。
ああ。
I sling my bag over my shoulder again, say bye to Kujo, who's talking to her friends, and leave the classroom. The grand celebration of my recovery consists of getting some drinks from a vending machine, and Yoichi and I part ways at the station. After that, I head straight home.
お兄ちゃん、おかえり。
The moment I step inside, my obnoxious little sister greets me. She strikes a weird pose and says one of the most cliched lines in existence.
私にする？私にする？それ
久しぶりに学校行ったんだから友達と遊んだりとかそういうのないのかよ。
Didn't you say we were just gonna do this for like a one night stand, Sora?
そのお言葉そっくりそのままお返ししますけど。
俺はいいんだよ。
Okay, thank God, the noise is actually quieted down.
おうおう、待て待て待てい。
I try to brush past Sora and get to the living room, but she grabs my arm and pulls me back.
なんだよ。
ここを通りたければ私を抱いてからにしろ。
何言ってんのお前。
実家にいる間大変だったんすよお兄様。
何がだよ。
性欲を抑えるのが。
ほんと何言ってんのお前。
いやニーに呆れてますけどね。本当は共感してるでしょ。私と一緒でしょ。持て余してるでしょ。
ふざけんな。
素直になれよ。私はもうしたくてしたくてしゃあない。快楽を刻み込まれたこの体がうずいてうずいてしゃあない。
ほんとさ、そういうこと大声で言うのどうかと思うよ俺は。
だってここまでグイグイいかないとニーヤンしてくれないじゃん。
一回の約束だろ。
Yes, thank you, Kakeru. He's actually being rational.
私の中ではすでに2回カウントされている。それにお互いの合意があれば約束など無意味。
Okay, Kakeru, you fucked up. You fucked up, she's right. She's right, man.
めっちゃくちゃだなこいつ。
お願い。イチャイチャしたい。お兄ちゃんとイチャイチャしたい。
Man, I don't know if Japan actually like cares about incest or whatnot, but I don't know, Sora.
話せって。
I peel Sora off me and firmly turn her down. Okay, thank you for being resolute, Kakeru. Okay, look, that was really what I meant to do. God damn you! Patreon.com Azaikyousuke. See ya, YouTube. I'm probably gonna voice act this one too, because Sora's H scenes are so stupid. Not go for round 2. I'm very surprised. Around evening, we both finish up our homework and start watching movies and reading manga to pass the time. Welcome back, YouTube. Sora won't leave me alone now, hugging me and touching me constantly. Not to mention holding my hand and begging for kisses. For all practical purposes, we become a couple. Not too long ago, I would have shaken her off and told her she was being annoying. While I still feel some of that, her clinginess also makes me a little happy now. To be honest, I'm surprised at just how little guilt I feel about our taboo relationship. Maybe that's because I'm still in the honeymoon phase. Who knows? I might end up regretting everything once I calm down a little. Well, society definitely is gonna judge you, Kakeru. That's gonna be where the hardships come from. People are gonna judge you and might not want to be, you know, associated with you. But other than that, as long as you're happy, I guess it's whatever. And besides, as I said, I personally feel like incest, if it's still the very first one, it's okay. It's not until like a couple of generations that your kids start to get fucked up. But for now, I'm happy with things the way they are. Sora yawns and drops her phone on the table.
そろそろ寝るか。
Like, I'm not really one to bend to societal norms, guys, but I just feel like I don't really want to do something like that to my sister. I get up and lay out the futon folded in a corner of my room. It was pretty rough lugging this all the way here from my parents' house. When I came back yesterday, it was just me, so I had the bed to myself. But with Sora staying over tonight, I had to procure another mattress. Otherwise, I'd be stuck in that sleeping bag again.
やっと快適に眠れる。
一緒にベッドで寝ればいいのに。
アホか。
あ、そっか。一緒に寝たらニーに我慢できなくて私を襲っちゃうもんね。
You might actually be right about that, Sora.
うわ、出た 笑いも何も生まないやつ。
てかお前さ、しれっと泊まってくよな。泊まっていいかって聞くことすらしなくなったよな。
は？もう同棲してるつもりですけど。ここ私の部屋ですけど。
なんてずうずうしいやつだ。
これでいつでもイチャつけるね。やったね。
電気消すぞ。
あ、おーい。
After making sure Sora's gotten into bed, I flick off the lights. I then snuggle into my futon. Ah, now this is what I call comfort.
おやすみ。
おやすみ。
Are you gonna get a dream again, Kakeru? I close my eyes. Sleep's pull begins to drag me under. But a moment later, I open my eyes. It's not that I'm not sleepy. I just can't sleep. No, I'm scared of going to sleep. It's been like that for the past few days.
ニーニー、
なんだよ。
まだ起きてる？
返事した時点でそれ聞く必要ないだろ
最近あんまり寝てないでしょ。
う。いいや。
おいおい、私はニーヤンの寝顔を撮り続けていた女だぜ。その嘘は通用しませんな。
Sora sits up. She slides off the bed, sits down next to my futon, and looks me in the eyes.
手、握っててあげる。
いいよ。
いいから。
Sora reaches under the covers and squeezes my hand.
いつもしてもらってばかりだけど、今度は私がしてあげる番だね。
平気だよ。
嘘つき。みんな心配してるよ。みゃこ先輩もはるか先輩も。特にはるか先輩かな。そばで見てたから余計にそう思うんじゃないかな。メッセージ来た。あれはゴーストさんの自業自得で因果応報だから、新見くんが責任や罪の意識を感じる必要ないって。もっと早く伝えられたらよかったんだけどね。お兄ちゃん、なんていうの？弱みを見せまいとしてるっていうか、そんな感じだったから言えなくて。
Sora smiles apologetically. So she knew from the start. She knew there was something haunting me. I thought I was hiding it, but she's just been worrying for me this whole time. Then again, considering even Miss Naruse noticed something was bothering me, there's no way Sora could have missed it. After all, she's the one who spends the most time with me and who understands me best.
力になれるかはわかんないけど、話してよ。ちょっとは楽になるかも。
Correction, Kakeru, the only person who can know us the best is actually ourselves. That is, of course, if you introspect just like how Kakeru does to himself. Sometimes people actually let their emotions get the better of them, so they actually don't know how they are. But I do think Kakeru actually knows how he is.
高坂先輩は俺を気遣って自滅だって。そうなるよう追い込んだのは俺だ。だからあれはやっぱり俺が殺した。ゴーストは俺が殺したんだ。
Sora says nothing. She just keeps holding my hand. But I'm trembling. Only now do I realize just how heavily Ghost's death has been weighing on me. I feel a bit embarrassed about Sora seeing me like this. God, the noise is back again, guys. But I no longer have the strength to pretend I'm fine.
ずっと悩んでいた。自首するべきなんじゃないかって。けど警察は信じないだろうとか、俺が殺したと証明もできないしとか、言い訳ばかり考えて俺は逃げている。もっといいやり方があったんじゃないかって。 ゴーストと和解する道を探るべきだったのかって今さら思ってる。でも俺は短絡的に奴を殺すことを選んだ。そうするしかないって思った。
No, I think logically speaking, like destroying the root of the problem is actually a good idea, Kakaru.
俺はそのつもりであいつに会いに行って、そして殺した。それがたった一つの事実だ。眠るとゴーストが俺に言うんだ。お前も俺の仲間だな。よう、人殺し。今は少し眠るのが怖い。
I've seen lots of other worse dreams that I've had, Kakaru. I think someone telling me I'm a killer every single day is actually not worse than what I've seen so far. The first thing out of Sora's mouth is an apology. I mean, if I were Kakaru, I wouldn't deny that I'm a killer. There's no denying it. He even said it himself. He was the one who pushed Ghost to that point. So yeah, technically speaking, he is still a killer. Even though the way that she died was her powers, you know, going berserk. We still push her that way. So yeah, we're still a killer, but there's nothing wrong with that. It's the emotions that we do for killing, Kakaru. We kill people because we want to protect other people, right? She killed people for fun, because she wants to get stronger and whatnot. The first thing out of Sora's mouth is an apology. But I don't know why. I look up at her face, but it's hard to make out her expression in the darkness.
分かってた。分かってたんだ。はるか先輩から聞いてたのもあるし、お兄ちゃん微妙に変だったし。けど、私励まし方とかわからなくて、最悪なことしちゃった。お兄ちゃんが弱ってること分かってて、私のわがまま押し付けちゃって。
There's nothing wrong with that too, to be honest, Sora.
お兄ちゃんと恋人みたいなことしたいって、その気持ちを優先しちゃった。ごめんね。
That's just human, Sora.
いや、
I slowly shake my head and squeeze Sora's hand, just like she did for me.
わざとだろ。騒いで、絡んで、俺に悩む暇を与えないようにしていた。そうやって気遣ってくれていたのは分かってる。分かってて、俺も甘えたんだ。だから謝らなくていい。
So, they're basically saying Sora was pestering him, you know, about the whole thing, just so that he's not sad or he doesn't have time to think anymore. I really despise when people use sex as a form of escapism. The same way with alcohol and everything along those lines. Like, guys, it's not gonna fix the root of the problem. You gotta face it straight on. It's gonna make you forget, but it's not gonna fix the problem. That's why I really hate that sort of, like, mentality. Sex and alcohol especially, because those are what my dad uses the most. So I just have a bad connotation about them.
こっちこそ悩みのはけ口にしてごめんな。お前の気持ちをそんな形でしか受け止められなくて。
うん、どんな形でも私嬉しいよ。嫌われても縁切られてもおかしくないのに、お兄ちゃん私を受け入れてくれた。そっちこそ謝んないでよ。私今まで生きてきて一番嬉しかったんだからさ。
そっか。
I smile. Sora smiles back. Despite the darkness, I can tell.
あのさ、私はお兄ちゃんの気持ちの全部を分かってあげられないとは思うけど、 でもお兄ちゃんがそうしようって思ったのは私のためだったり、みやこ先輩のためだったり、みんなのためでしょ。きっと誰かがやらなくちゃいけないことで、怖くて危ないことを誰かのために自分がやろうってそう思えたお兄ちゃんを、私はかっこいいって思うし、すごいなって思う。本当にそう思う。殺しちゃったって、その気持ちは消せないかもしれないけど、ごめん、うまく言えないけど、私がいるからね。ずっと私がそばにいるから。お兄ちゃんが怖がってること、言えないでいること、わかるよ。わかると思う。でも私はお兄ちゃんを怖がったりしないし、責めたりもしない。絶対にしない。何があっても、誰がどう思っても、お兄ちゃんは私にとって最高の大好きなお兄ちゃんだから。それだけは忘れないでね。私はお兄ちゃんのそばから離れないたった二人の兄弟だもん。
なんかおとんとおかんがもう死んじゃったみたいな言い方だな。
Well, they are kinda not really paying too much attention to you anyway, Kakeru.
そんなつもりはないけど。でもお父さんとお母さんは私のことを忘れちゃったけど、お兄ちゃんは私のこと忘れないでいてくれた。
アーティファクトのおかげだ。
なんでもいいよ。お兄ちゃんのおかげで私は消えちゃわずに済んだ。殺しちゃったって悩むのは仕方ないけど、私を救ったってことも忘れないでね。お兄ちゃんは私のヒーローだよ。誰が何と言っても、お兄ちゃん自身がどう思ってても、私はお兄ちゃんが大好き。いつも迷惑かけてばかりだし、もうアーティファクトもなくなっちゃったから、これから何かあっても何もできないかもしれないけど、私はお兄ちゃんを頑張って支えたいって思ってる。いつもわがまま聞いてくれる分、私がお兄ちゃんの支えになりたいってそう思ってるんだ。それだけは忘れないでね。不安になったら思い出してね。
ああ、ありがとう。
なんかこんな真面目な話キャラじゃないね。恥ずかしいかも。
いや、かなり楽になった。ありがとう。
本当に？
ああ、本当に。
よかった。
You know, I kinda half expected that Ghost or someone close to Ghost was actually cursing Kakeru with those dreams. But I guess it is just his own mental anguish. Sora smiles and places her other hand on top of mine as well.
眠れるまでこうしててあげる。大丈夫。夢の中にゴーストが出てきても、私が追い払ってあげる。だから安心して、ぐっすり眠っちゃって。
心強いな。
He actually said that's reassuring. I squeezed Sora's hand and let out a little sigh. I finally feel the tension go out of my shoulders as relief washes over me. I went down the wrong path. I have no intention of placing the blame for that on anyone else. I made that decision of my own free will. Then why did you say you're on the wrong path? I don't think it's necessarily the wrong path. Yeah, killing someone's bad, but killing someone to protect someone else, in my opinion, that's not bad. Like, objectively, yeah, we're still killing someone, but I don't care. I still think I'm doing something right. if I'm doing it to protect someone else. Incident isn't over, and if another person like Ghost shows up, I'll undoubtedly make the same choice again. And when I do, maybe I'll disappoint some of those people closest to me. They may even become my enemies. But if that does happen, Sora will still be there. She'll never leave me. I'm sure that, behind that gentle smile, Sora is carrying her share of regrets as well. Hell, she's probably scared too. Like me, she might be thinking she's gone down the wrong path. But that's precisely why she's willing to follow it to its end with me. We're siblings after all. Even if the world turns against us, we'll have each other. Even if we lose our way, we'll join hands and move forward together. I'll never forget. Neither her feelings nor the warmth of her hand. No matter what happens, I won't forget.
Oyasumi. Sora.
I swear it. I'll never, ever. Guess that's the ending. That's the finale for this chapter. I enjoyed this chapter way more than the Kujo chapter, to be honest, guys. I am biased with Sora because of her voice actor. But I also like the dynamic between Sora and Kakeru. Sora and Kujo, or sorry, Kakeru and Kujo, they just, I don't know. It's just weird. I'm actually just enjoying looking at the, ending screen here, or ending movie. Trying to see if I missed something. One thing this chapter did very well is that they actually introduced the villains in this chapter and they both are gone. So this actually is not a cliffhanger chapter, unlike the first chapter with Kujo. Well, I don't know. There might be like an extra scene at the ending, an epilogue, like what we saw with Kujo. But even before the epilogue, with Kujo, we clearly don't know anything, right? But I guess it served its purpose as like the first chapter to make you guys want to see what next is gonna happen. Let's hope I don't have to censor anything here, Sora. Song is pretty catchy. That was a pretty enjoyable ending song. I think it said Koko ni Aru Sora is the name of the song. Alright, what's the epilogue? That sounds like Sophie. Yeah, that might be the same voice actor, but not necessarily Sophie.
予定通りだよ。あの現体には魔眼のユーザーとして死んでもらう必要があった。何も問題はない。
That's Yoichi, damn it!
So, これからどうするの？九条美子はさっさと消した方がいいと思うけれど。
No, this is Sophie.
分かってる。記憶を盗まれる前に彼女は殺す。
What the fuck? This is Yoichi.
アーティファクトを拾ったばかりの僕はあまりにも不注意すぎた。けどみそぎは済んだ。今度は慎重にやる。慎重に、確実に。
あの子も気の毒ね。別の枝ではあなたのスケープゴートにされて、この枝でも見捨てられて。
In another branch, they were made into a scapegoat. Well, they were made into a scapegoat, but we didn't know what the hell happened to them.
レイヤに近づいたのが最大のミスだった。関係が切れてせいせいしてるよ。もう迂闊なことはしない。
期待してるわよ。今度は追い詰められないでね。あなたのお友達に。
うるさい。わかってる。
I don't know what the hell is, I did say, right? I did say that freaking Yoichi was definitely an actor if he was the, you know, some sort of antagonist. You know why I thought about that? I'm not gonna lie, the reason why I thought that Yoichi might have been someone important is because his freaking portrait is this close to the heroines. While these guys are off on the side, right? Usually, people who are at the very top of the voice lines are important characters. That's why I was also suspecting Miss Naruse.
ほんとうざったいな、かける。
So he might not necessarily be the holder of the evil eye. But I guess we'll see. If he is, then what's the point? No, that might not be Sophie that he's with then. That might just have the same voice actor. I guess we'll see. I'm thinking it might not be Sophie. I kind of trust her a tiny bit because you know, she actually gave us a lot of stuff in this timeline, in this branch. And for all we know, the other worlder might be also able to change branches and whatnot. Before she steals the memories, so Yoichi, guess we'll see.
忘れ物ないか？
ない、おかんかよ。
お前が寝坊してバタバタしてたから確認してやってんだろ。
そういう優しさいらない。ちゃんと起こしてくれる優しさが欲しかった。
起こしたっつうの。
起きなきゃ起こしたことになんないでしょうが。
お前体ゆすったら俺に腹パンかましてきたから。ふざけんなよ、ほんと。
記憶にございません。
だろうな。
あれだよ。ニーニの寝顔ずっと眺めてたせいで寝るの遅くなっちゃったんだよ。
気持ち悪い。
おいやめろおい。ぐっすり眠れたの誰のおかげだと思ってる。
その説はどうもありがとうございました。
ちょっと急ぎますわよお兄様。
おい、 なんだよ、引っ張るなよ。
This definitely feels like a happy ending, to be honest, though.
お腹空いたから早くコンビニ行きたい。誰かさんのせいで朝ごはん食べ損ねた。
自業自得だろ。わかったから話せって。
いいじゃん。手をつないで仲良しアピールしてこうよ。
なんでだよ、意味がわかんね
あいつシスコンかよって思わせてニーニに女の子が寄りつかないようにするために決まってるでしょうが。
え。最低だお前。
これから独占欲全開にしてくし、嫉妬も露骨にしていきますので。
はいはい。
ほらほら、急いで急いで。私が空腹で倒れちゃう。
わかったから引っ張るなって。
やだ、お兄ちゃんが嫌がってもこれからグイグイ行くからね。覚悟してよね、お兄ちゃん。
You seem happy, Sora. I guess we'll have to see what the third chapter is gonna give us. I don't know what's gonna happen in the third chapter.
9、空色空歌空の音。
Yeah, this number 2 is clearly because I skipped the first bad ending there. And of course, that's exactly what we're gonna do.
続きを早く。
Even though I don't want to see this,
これ
but
でいいの？
we probably will learn something on the bad ending.
ロード完了しやしたぜ。
I guess just a warning for people that don't like sad stories. Probably don't watch past this because this is probably gonna be pretty sad.
わかった。お前の気持ち嬉しいよ。
じゃあ
俺たち今から恋人だ。
A smile steals across her face. A smile full of warmth and reassurance, and above all, happiness. She lets out a long, drawn-out sigh, and then, without a word... Are we gonna actually jump straight to sex in this one? She closes her eyes. It's obvious at a glance what she's waiting for. But even knowing I can't help but hesitate. I told Sora I'd do anything for her sake. I was so desperate to please her that I even agreed to be her boyfriend. But the fact remains, we're siblings. Taking this commitment beyond mere words, truly becoming lovers, it would be wrong. It's a bridge too far. However, I have no choice but to cross it. If I don't, Sora will realize I don't have the guts to keep my promise to her. I'll be letting her down. If I refuse to cross this line with her, then I'm certain she'll... Growing impatient, Sora opens her eyes again. Shit, I waited too long. Sora must have realized I'm hesitating. Honestly, I can't blame her if she decides to just give up here and now. But she gives me one more chance.
その体勢だと辛そうだね。
Another heartbreaking smile. I've got one knee on the table and both hands on her shoulders. She's not wrong. This would be a pretty uncomfortable position to share a kiss. Sora gently takes my hands off her shoulders and gets to her feet. Standing, she looks down at me and waits. She just stands there silently, waiting for me to join her and take her in my arms.
どっから始める？
What is this choice though about remembering and whatnot? Maybe in like the third chapter, we're gonna get this choice again and we're gonna choose to not remember. Is Sora gonna disappear in Haruka's chapter? Is that what's gonna happen? I've got to steel my resolve. I made my choice. Man, if she actually disappears in the third chapter, I'd be pretty sad, I'm not gonna lie. And we don't remember her, I'd be pretty sad about that. Now I have to own up to the consequences. For Sora's sake.
ムードは作ってやれねえけど。
I I try to sound lighthearted as I get to my feet. I circle around the table and stop in front of Sora. She closes her eyes again. The only silver lining of that move is that she can't see how stiff and nervous I look. Was this really the right decision? Trying to shake off my doubts, I put my hand on Sora's slender shoulder. And then, I lean in, closing the distance to her waiting lips. Finally, our lips touch. It's no mere brush of the lips, but a heated kiss. A lover's kiss, which I guess is what we are. Sora opens her mouth slightly and sighs, licking my lips. I feel her saliva coating them. I can tell she's waiting for me to take the next step. But that's beyond me. I don't have the courage to press my tongue into her mouth just yet. Sora sees through my hesitation, and so she gives me a little shove. Tense as I am, I stumble backward. Sora gives me an uncharacteristically earnest look. She licks her lips and smiles. Then she begins taking shuffling steps backward, slowly inching away from me. Until she reaches the bed, she collapses onto it and rolls over. Man, is this not even gonna be an H scene and she's get... We fucked up, Kakeru. Sora pulls the covers up and turns her back to me. Relief washes over me, and I collapse in a heap on the ground. We messed up, Kakeru. Did I do it? Can I keep her grounded this way? Did I really manage to save her from despair? Will this make her stop wanting to disappear? No, because she actually will be thinking I forced my brother to do this. I want to believe I made the right choice. Sora's faint, irregular breathing reaches my ears. She must really have been tired if she fell asleep already. I involuntarily put a finger to my lips. When we kissed, my heart definitely skipped a beat. It was a small thing, but I could feel it. A little thrill, even if it was my own sister I was kissing. That realization confuses me. This is something I'm doing for Sora. This is my duty. At least, that's what I keep telling myself, trying to drown out my lingering guilt. Sora's been asleep since the afternoon. As she slept, her stigma would occasionally rise to the surface of her skin like a pattern of translucent veins. Come to think of it, she's technically been using her powers constantly, hasn't she? Though she hasn't shown it, the exhaustion from doing so must be immense. No wonder she's sleeping so much. I've stayed by her side this whole time, worried she might disappear at any moment. In fact, I haven't even gotten up to eat anything. While I watch over her as she slept, a lot of memories, both old and new, resurfaced. It may have appeared that Sora's confession was about as sudden as they get, but it wasn't entirely unexpected. For a long time now, I vaguely suspected she was harboring feelings for me. When we were kids, Sora never hesitated to tell me how much she loved me. Even as she grew older and became a little less vocal about her affection, it was so clear she was attached to me. But it was only a few months before I started living alone that I began to suspect her feelings for me went past familial love. One day, I found a photo album on Sora's desk. In retrospect, I probably shouldn't have flipped through it without permission, but at the time, I thought it was just a family album. I wanted to reminisce about old times, so I opened it without thinking. After all, Sora had been taking pictures on all of our family trips. She'd even made me come with her to get them all developed. I never suspected it was more than a record of happy family memories. How wrong I was. The album was filled with pictures of me. Every last one of them, a picture of me alone, or me with Sora. Some I remember her taking, others she'd definitely taken without my knowledge. Many were family pictures, but with our parents cropped out, often zoomed in on me. In that album, Sora had preserved only her memories of me. And though I felt guilty at the thought, the sight of it sent a wave of nausea through me. I certainly love Sora, but as family, as my sister. And once I saw that album, I began to suspect that the love Sora felt for me was not the same as mine for her. Her obsession was abnormal and unhealthy. It was wrong. I bet she knew that too. And that was why she never hit puberty. What did I say? Sorry guys. And that was why ever since she hit puberty, she started burying her feelings. She stopped telling me she loved me. But while on the surface she acted like an ordinary sister, her hidden feelings didn't go away. I'm sure Sora never meant for anyone to find that album. She certainly hadn't intended for me to see it. And frankly, it was my mistake as well, opening it without permission. After I saw what was inside though, I decided it would be best to pretend I hadn't and say nothing at all to Sora. So that's what I did. But from that day on, I grew wary of her. I know I'm biased since we're family, but I really do think Sora is cute. From what I've heard, she gets asked out all the time. However, she's turned down every one of her would-be boyfriends. Once, I asked her why she never dated anyone. This was what she told me.
だって理想の人がいるもん。
At the time, I just shrugged those words off. That was before I saw her album. Once I did, I began to wonder, what if the person she likes is me? What if that stops her from ever going out with any other guy? Personally, I thought that was both unhealthy and unnatural. Not a good situation at all. I thought to myself, maybe I was just misunderstanding. If so, great. But if not, if the reason Sora had asked for her own room was to protect this secret of hers, then this was a real problem. If she was worried about me seeing her album and what it implied, then that meant I should put some distance between us. So when my father asked if I had any interest in living on my own, I said yes without a second thought. And that's how I moved out of the house. A year passed. I thought that if I spent less time with Sora, her taboo feelings would fade. But they didn't. Sora's love for me only continued to grow. She just kept it hidden. The only reason she revealed it to me now is because she doesn't want any regrets. As the stigma's erosion progresses, the artifact's user becomes unable to contain their desires. That's what Sophie said. If that's true, it means Sora just became unable to keep her feelings hidden any longer. And that means she's almost at her limit. She's teetering on the brink of disappearing. What choice did I have but to cave into her feelings? What choice did I have but to kiss her? If I hadn't, Sora would have... I was actually waiting for her voice line. Sora tosses and turns in her sleep. She still hasn't woken up. Night falls, and Sora's still asleep. She slept the whole day away now. Kujo hasn't messaged me even once in that time. Though even if she did message, it's not like I could use my phone right now, so I wouldn't be able to reply. I bet everyone's forgotten about us already. Or maybe the truth is, we both disappeared, and I just haven't realized it. Maybe we're the only two people who can see each other now. The fear that that's already happened starts to grow within me. But I know we still haven't disappeared. Sora's still here. She's still alive. I'm worried that she's been sleeping for too long, but at least in her dreams she won't be dwelling on her despair. Maybe it's even for the best that she sleeps as much as she can. The day's almost over. It shouldn't be long now until Sophie completes the medicine that can cure her. I'm planning on staying awake until she finally does show up. I have no idea how long it might take, but I'm not sleeping. That said, I should probably at least turn off the lights, so Sora can sleep soundly. Seriously, I should have done that hours ago. I can't believe I'm so thoughtless. I get up and flip the switch. A moment later, Sora stirs.
寝るの？
悪い。起こしちゃったか。
うん。ずっと寝たり起きたりしてたから。
なんだ。そうだったのか。
ずっとそばにいてくれてありがとう。
それくらいしかできないからな。
もっとそばに来てほしい。
ああ。いいよ。
Sorry about that. I sit down next to the bed and hold Sora's hand like I used to when we were young.
ずっとこうしててやる。
違う。
Pouting, Sora yanks my hand forward. She then lifts the covers.
来て。
She wants to sleep together. In other words, I can't refuse her. Sora scoots over to the edge, making room for me. I clamber onto the bed and lie down. The moment I'm settled, Sora wraps her arms around me.
一緒に寝るの久しぶりだね。
そうだな。何年ぶりかな。
お兄ちゃん。
Sora leans in. We share a kiss. She takes the initiative and pushes her tongue into my mouth. This is gonna be the weirdest sex ever. If she actually disappears midway. This kiss is far more passionate than the last. Don't worry, YouTube. You guys can still see this. The moans are kind of distracting, but don't worry. My voice is a bit louder than the moans. Sora greedily sucks on my lips. She even slides her hand underneath my shirt and starts caressing my chest.
お兄ちゃん好き。
Her hand creeps down on my torso.
好き。お兄ちゃん好き。
そら。
好きだよ。お兄ちゃん。
Her roving hand stops and she leans over me. With a bewitching smile, she looks down at me, her eyes shimmering.
しよ。
Nope.
何を。
恋人同士で。
Yeah, lovers cuddle, Sora. That's about it, right? Sora gets up and straddles me. I've never seen that look on her face before. It's like she's become a completely different person. I can't help but be a little worried. Is this also because of her stigma? It must be. Still smiling, Sora grinds against me. Inexperienced as I am, I should be losing my mind with desire and ripping her clothes off right about now. And if the girl on top of me was anyone but Sora, that's exactly what I do. But it's not anyone else. It's my sister. I may have known this was coming, but that doesn't make it any easier to accept. I'm not even the slightest bit turned on. I could still make up an excuse, say I'm too tired to be in the mood, or that we're moving too quickly for me. Try to put an end to it. But I don't. I don't have the resolve necessary to commit this taboo with Sora, but I also don't have the courage to turn her down. I'm half-assed to the core, and all I can do is watch as Sora grinds on top of me.
大丈夫だよ。
She stops. I guess she's not ready to go any further either. So it was all just a joke? I breathe a sigh of relief. Yeah, she's gonna disappear because she knows that we're doing something we don't want to do. But it turns out I'm mistaken. Sora inches backward, still keeping me firmly pinned beneath her. And then she reaches for my pants and starts taking them off. What? Are we actually gonna have an H scene? I thought she... okay. I finally realized what Sora meant. It's okay even if I'm not in the mood, because she's going to do everything for me. Welcome back, YouTube. She gives me a soft kiss and entrusts herself to me.
大好きだよお兄ちゃん大好き
With that, Sora closes her eyes. So connected to me, she goes limp. I guess she fell asleep. I stroke her back inside. We cross the line. We've done something unforgivable, but I don't mind. As long as I can keep Sora happy, I don't care about anything else. At least this way, she... I wouldn't be so sure about that, Kakeru. I think Kakeru's gonna go crazy now. Oh, Sora's still here.
ごめんねお兄ちゃんいつも迷惑かけてごめんなさいいつもわがままばかり言って困らせてごめんなさいでもこれで最後だからごめんね兄ちゃんごめんなさいありがとう
You're an idiot, Kakeru.
かける
When I wake up, my mind is foggy. The distinctive plushy outline of Sophie enters my blurry vision. What time is it? Should be 2 o'clock, yeah. 2 in the morning?
なんだよ、こんな深夜に。
なんだよじゃないでしょアンブロシアが完成したから持ってきてあげたの
何？
寝起きの悪い男ね空はどこ
空って？
あなた大丈夫
I jump to my feet. I remember now. The ambrosia. Sora.
完成したんだな。
ちょっとあなた
え？なんだよ。
下半身丸出しじゃないの
悪い。
I hurriedly pull my underwear and pants back on. Why the hell did I take them off?
まったくもう空は
え？
どこにいるの
どこって？
I turn back to the bed. But Sora is... not there. She's not on the bed.
空！
I shout her name. But there's no reply. I scramble off my bed and turn on the lights. I run into the living room. Then I check the bathroom. But she's not here. She's not anywhere. She's not here. It's only when I look at the entrance that I realize Sora's shoes are gone. I run back to my living room. I start turning the whole place inside out. It's not here. Sora's bag isn't here.
空がいない。
出て行ったみたいね
So she's not disappeared yet.
出て。どうして？
失敗したわねかける
え？
あなたさっきまで空のこと忘れていたでしょ
忘れ。いや、ただぼーっとして。
違う寝ぼけていたんじゃないあなたは忘れてしまっていた空あの子
Sorry about that.
一人で消えることを選んだみたいね
そんなはずは。そんなこと言うなよ。
Growing hysterical, I pick up my phone. I quickly unlock it and start flipping through my contact list. It's only when I'm about to press a call button that I realize
操作できる。
Sora's powers aren't affecting me anymore. But then she must have regained control of them, right? That has to be it, right? Panicking, I press the call button, and the phone begins to ring.
Sora, 出ろ。早く、Sora! Sora! 出ろ、出てくれ。Sora! 出ろ！
出ないわよ。あの子はもうあなたの声には答えられない。
言うなって言っただろ！
Still holding the ringing phone in my hands, I run toward the door. Wait for me, Sora. I'll be right there. I'll save you. I won't let you disappear alone. I swear it. I put on my shoes and unlock the door. I'm on my way, Sora. I grab the doorknob. I'll be right there. Just give me a minute. I...
なんだっけ？
I stiffen up, my hand still on the doorknob. It feels like something just vanished. There's this vague feeling that something's missing. But I can't tell what it is. All that's left is a keen sense of loss. What?
今何しようとしてたっけ？ソフィー、俺何を？
I turn around. Sophie watches me expressionlessly. She just hovers there, looking at me quietly.
間に合わなかったわね。あなたはもう決して思い出せない。あの子のことを決して。
あの子。
I don't understand, but I get the feeling she was precious to me. In fact, she was the most important person in the world. She was... Who was she? She's vanishing. No matter how hard I try to remember, I can't. She's disappearing. And as every trace of her vanishes, I lose my treasured memories. I swore I'd never forget her. She's the most important thing in the world to me. And yet my memories of her are fading away. Not gonna do this, Kakeru. Stop this. Please. Don't go. These memories are too precious to lose. I can't remember them, but I know how dear they are to me. Please don't disappear. Please stop. Anything but this.
やめてくれ！
He actually just said stop this.
さようなら、お兄ちゃん。
I wonder if I would be sad if I lose someone. I don't know. That's the problem with me, though. I don't think I've ever cherished someone that much that I would really be hysterical if someone were to be lost in my memories. Is there anything else? Go back to my choice. Okay. All right.
お兄ちゃんの恋人にしてほしい。
I guess that's the ending. There's actually nothing at the ending, huh?
に設定してください。
I actually thought there would be
タイトル
something.
画面に帰るよ。9、空色、空歌、空の音。
Yeah, I actually thought there would be something that we know about, you know, something that would transpire in the bad ending. But I guess the bad endings in this game is not one of those visual novels where they have a tag where it says bad endings with story. I mean, there was a decent chunk of like text, But it's not like it goes on and on, which I actually prefer when it comes to bad endings. I prefer bad endings that it give us some sort of hint about another route or another clue about what's going to transpire somewhere else down the line. Pretty sad, but I kind of already knew it was going to end that way. I just thought that there would be something else that would be there, you know? But I guess there wasn't. But I guess that's the end for 9-9 Chapter 2. So tomorrow I'll be recording some more Amayui along with the next day after that. I'm probably gonna start 9-9 Chapter 3 next week. I don't know how it's gonna start the next chapter. I think it might start after we beat Ghost. That's my thoughts on it, so we're not gonna choose Sora. So I think what I said about this being like a common route might be true. We're probably still not gonna choose Sora here. And then we're gonna choose, or technically we still haven't chosen Haruka Senpai yet. But we are gonna choose her in that next game. Do I feel sad that we don't choose Sora? I don't know. Seeing her happy actually does make me feel happy too, a tiny bit. So I probably would have chosen not to choose Sora for sure at the very beginning, but Kakeru chose it, so because I saw how happy she was, it's kind of affecting me a tiny bit. But yeah, I guess this is it for 9-9 Chapter 2. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. People on YouTube will actually not be seeing much of this, so I might tack this on the previous episode. Because most of what's going on this episode is actually just double H scenes and just me getting the bad ending. And some of the finale for, you know, the true ending. Or Sora's ending anyway, not the true ending. But yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Give this video a like if you guys like it. Sub if you guys haven't. Patreon will be getting these episodes early access along with everything uncensored. I don't necessarily think the uncensored version of the bad ending H scene was hot. I was just sad throughout the whole thing. I'm like, come on, get this over with. This isn't Sora. But yeah. Also, people on YouTube that aren't on Patreon just yet, feel free to become a free member because that's gonna be where I put first episode previews of future playthroughs. Okay, I'll see you guys on Patreon in probably about 4 days. People on YouTube, I'll see you guys in 2 to 3 days.